Boxing Voice.
And they've been great to me as well.
Now, I do want to switch it just a little bit. You being from Brooklyn, and you know Sadam Ali for a very long time now. Sadam Ali did what people didn't expect him to do. Most picked him to get knocked out. A lot of people thought that he had a weak chin, and he came in today, did better than a pound-for-pound, I don't know, top 5 in Timothy Bradley, and basically dismantled Abregu. How impressed were you? I seen you giving him directions from the corner, telling him to keep his jab out there. How impressed were you, and how excited were you for Sadam Ali, being as though that you know him for so long?
Yeah, I was very excited, and I was very impressed with this performance. You know, I know Sadam since he's 9 years old. As a matter of fact, his last fight with Jeremy Bryan, I know Jeremy since he's a teenager as well, so that was one of the hardest fights. My whole life in boxing, the Sadam and Jeremy Bryan last fight, was one of the hardest for me to ever watch. Like, I know both of those guys since they're kids. And so, you know, now that they weren't fighting each other, I could go back to giving my support, as I had to stay neutral that fight, but giving my support tonight for Sadam, and really, I know him since he's 9 years old. I first met Sadam, and he was a little kid trying to imitate the Prince at 9 years old, you know, in a little amateur tournament, and I saw him in the gym, and he was literally just a little kid. And so watching him tonight he became really a man and a bona fide sensation in boxing, I think, with the win he got tonight. It made me feel a little bit old, but it really gave me a lot of enthusiasm. I felt like I want to fight, you know. After the fight, I felt that relief and that excitement, like I just want to fight, you know. I felt real happy for him, and at the same time, you know, it makes me realize, man, time passes. You know, this is not the 9-year-old kid I met so many years ago. You know, this is a grown man who's one of the best fighters in the world, and he showed that tonight.
Now, what do you think is next for him? Because the 147-pound division is loaded, it's stacked, but we all know that there's politics involved. If you're not a guy like yourself that is signed to Heyman, or before you were signed to Heyman, you got plenty of fights because of your name. You're known, you're a popular guy. I mean, you got a lot of cheers in here when they were mentioning the celebrities in attendance. How does Sadam Ali, who just beat up a guy that a lot of guys didn't want to fight, it was hard for Abregu to get a fight himself, Sadam Ali beats him up bad. How does he get one of those top names in the ring now? Yeah,
you know, that's where it gets a little bit complicated. You know, Sadam put on a great performance against a guy that, you know, probably, you know, nobody looked as good beating Abregu as Sadam did. He only had the one loss, and it was Bradley, and Abregu had some pretty solid wins against guys like Delorme. You know, so you know, I think it makes a statement in and of itself, and I should make the networks want to bring him back and to see him. You know, yeah, politics do get in the way a lot of times, and really, you know, 3 of the world title belts are locked up with between Mayweather and Pacquiao. You know, so those are tough fights to get in and of themselves. I do think maybe the Bradley Chavez winner might be an opportunity to kind of slip in there and see, you know, if there's an opportunity to maybe make that fight with the winner of that fight. That's just thinking out loud. I don't know. You know, there's so much in the welterweight division. We'll see how things play out, and we'll see what his team can do for him.
Well, I don't want to take too much of it.
The Boxing Voice.